Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new, my name is Michaela and I make adult coloring videos here on this channel, and I have the most exciting video for you guys. I have put so much effort into putting all of this information together for you guys, and that is a French Hachette Heroes big large color by number book for beginners video. I really don't know quite how I'm going to actually title the video yet, but you guys know. You guys know by the title of this video. Basically, I will just be going through these color by number books by Hachette Heroes. They are large mystery Disney color by number books for beginners. Couple little things here before I get started. Number one, this video might be all over the place. I apologize sincerely about that. I have notes pretty clearly written out for myself on my computer that I'm going to be referencing throughout this entire video. I don't know how long it's going to be. It's probably going to be a fairly long video, but who knows, honestly. And I will be showing spoilers in this video. That being said, if you guys are not into the spoilers, please stick around for just a little bit because I will not be showing them right away. I do have something I want to chat about before I get into the spoilers. I personally think it's really beneficial to watch flip-throughs of these books. This will not be a flip-through video. This is just going to be an informative video, if you will. We're showing some solutions so you guys can get an idea of what I'm talking about. But this will not be flip-through, like a flip-through video. I do have all of these books flipped on my channel somewhere. I don't actually think I have a playlist with all of them, but I really should put that together. So hopefully I will actually have that put together by the time this video goes up. I'm gonna try my hardest to have this video up this weekend, if not tonight. I'm just really excited about it. So yeah, like I said, this won't be like a full flip, but it is going to be very informative and there will be spoilers. So there's that. But I don't know what other disclaimer to give. At the beginning of this video, I might be missing information, honestly, and if you have any more questions about these books, let me know in the comments. I'll be more than happy to try to help you out. There's some questions I just don't know the answer to, but I will try my hardest to answer any questions in the comments, and definitely feel free to share this video with any friends who might be interested in getting started on these coloring books. I feel like these coloring books have really taken such a I can't think of like the right word, but they just kind of blew up in the coloring world over the last year. So I know I'm in love with these books. These are some of my favorite coloring books, and I'm just so excited to share the love with you guys and tell you guys more about these books. So I really hope you guys enjoy the video, and let's get right on into it. Okay, so let's start out with what these books are. These are mystery Disney color by number books. So like I said, no spoilers right now, but basically these are large mystery books where you have a bunch of random lines on the page. Like, what the heck? You can't tell, at least I can't tell, who these characters are. Honestly, if you know the answers and you look hard enough, you can definitely see them inside the squiggle, but for something like this where I don't know what these answers are supposed to be, I actually don't know what these are. But you have a color code at the bottom, so it's a normal color by number, kind of with a twist, if you will, and this is awful angle. But yeah, you have a color code at the bottom and you match the colors, you color by number, and it turns into a beautiful Disney image. So like, for example, this is a page I've done. This is actually not a good example because I definitely did mess this one up, but I do really like how it turned out regardless. So it turns from squigglies to this. So the number one thing I am most excited about telling you guys is I will leave link down below from here on out a spreadsheet. So this kind of idea came to me. I was thinking that in the year of 2023, and I am still doing this, I want to every single weekend randomly generate a Disney movie, Disney or Pixar movie, and then watch that movie color a page. But it was really hard for me to visualize exactly which movies are represented in what books, and if I'm like looking for, I don't know, a Lady and the Tramp page, I want to know what books have that movie personally. Literally, this is all just a personal thing, but I created a spreadsheet that basically lists out all of the Disney movies, all the Pixar movies, and a couple of shorts that are represented in these books, and I have a spreadsheet, so go check it out, listed down below. This, I think, will be incredibly helpful for those of you guys who do not want to know spoilers, but are still interested in knowing which movies are represented in what books, so that way you can at least know that your favorite movie is in a book if you want to get it. It is not specified to characters, so unfortunately, like, unless you look through flip-throughs, you're not really going to know which character from that movie it's going to be, but if you like the movie and that's enough for you, go check out the spreadsheet. I promise it'll be super helpful. I know that it actually has been already really helpful for me if I do a buddy color and I want to pick a movie with somebody, and let's say we pick like Bambi. I did it with Megan, Disney Meg's Coloring last month. We did a Bambi buddy color. I'm pretty sure, this actually might not be a good example because I did not do it this way for this page, but what I could have done is look at all my Bambi pages, and I actually also have a running total of how many pages are represented across all the books from that movie as well. I did the math, and the math ain't mathin', but I did it all by hand, so something might be off, but it's really, really close. But basically I could like random number generate, like 1 through, I don't know, what even is Bambi? I have the spreadsheet up. There are 51 pages total in Bambi represented across every single one of these books. Like total, not like 51 pages in each book. You guys get it. So I could put a random number generator 1 through 51, and then I can from there pick which page I'm gonna do, page 51 out of all of them. So I hope that made sense. I've been really enjoying doing that. So the spreadsheet is really helpful, and I'm sorry if it's not how you would have necessarily, like if it doesn't work for your brain, I'm really sorry. This is the way that my brain thought it would look good, so this is kind of how I did it. So I really hope it makes sense. Like I said, feel free to leave me any questions in the comments. And yeah, it will be as up to date as it can be. This spreadsheet is currently as of February 11th, which is today, and the latest book that came out, well, 2 latest books that have come out are Love Stories and Optical Illusions, Heroes vs. Villains. So soon, when I get my Seasons book, I'll have to add that one in. I should also mention that I don't own the Best Of book, which is basically like a few pages from Tombs 1 through 7, I think, or 1 through 8. I don't own that one because I own all of the classics volumes. I didn't feel the need to own that one. That is one where you will not find any information from me on, as well as I did not pre-order the Best of the Animals book because I, again, think that's I think that's all repeats, and I don't need repeats of these characters in my collection, or of the actual exact same pictures in my collection. I just don't need it. So I decided against both of those, but everything else, including Mystery Messages, which is a really random one that I've never seen anyone talk about even to this day, is included in this spreadsheet. So like I said, it took me a lot of time to put together the spreadsheet, so I really hope you guys enjoy it. Like I said, I will leave it linked down below in all of my videos moving forward, just a nice little viewable version of it. Let me know if you guys have any issues with the link or anything. I'll try my hardest to help, so I hope you guys enjoy that. It took me a lot of time, and I've personally really been enjoying it, and I'm excited to share it with you guys because I think it'll be really helpful for those of you guys who don't like spoilers. So that's that on that. Okay, so if you guys don't like spoilers, at this point I would probably click off because I'm not too sure at this point. Actually, I disagree with what I just said. I think you guys can stay for the next section. Okay, so the next section of my video is where you can purchase these books. Yeah, we could definitely stay for this. I personally purchase most of my books off of this website called Lyrica. It is a French bookstore website, and they have free shipping in the United States. I really don't know about any other country, but they have free shipping in the United States, and it has always been insanely reliable. And if it's your first order, I have a discount code in my description box where you can get 10% off your first order using my discount code, and I get 10% kickback, which I have been so blessed with the kickback on that discount code. Thank you guys so much for anybody who's used it. I really appreciate you. I actually got to use it. I've had it come over and I've used it really like regularly, but recently I used it on the Seasons book. I only had to pay $8 for my Seasons book, which I'm so excited about. And I've collected enough actually to not spend money on my next purchase of a Disney book. So I'm really excited. So thank you guys so much if you guys have used that code. And if you haven't and you guys have never placed an order, feel free to use it. You'll get 10% off, but also you don't have to use it if you don't want to. Clicking on the link in my description box to the Lyrica website will not automatically use it's not like an affiliate link necessarily, so feel free to click on the link. It won't do anything. You have to physically put in my code that's in the description box at checkout in order to like have the code be active. So there's that. Otherwise, I'd suggest Lurica personally. I will admit it is kind of hard to maneuver if you don't know exactly what you're looking for because it's all in French. I've been able to get by. A lot of my flip through videos I think have links in the description of the specific books I'm talking about. But otherwise, yeah, that's the easiest website besides like search function isn't the best, but it's a nice website. Otherwise, you can order from Amazon France, Amazon UK, also US Amazon does sell these books, but they're at a high markup. I don't recommend purchasing them off of US Amazon, to be honest. You totally can. Some of them are Prime eligible, but they're like 40 bucks. If you buy them from Lurica, it's also free shipping and like 25 bucks, so take with that what you will. Yeah, the books are usually, okay, 25 bucks might have been a stretch, more like 21. I'd say the books range between like $20 to $22 a piece. They, I think, have gone up in price over the last little bit of time, but yeah, that is where you can purchase these books. And now I definitely think that if you are not interested in spoilers, definitely click off now. Thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry that I can't really get through this without showing you guys spoilers. I wish there was an easier way, but I really want to make this as in-depth as possible. So thank you for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Let's get into the next topic, which is the different styles of these books. Okay, so I pulled a lot of books off my shelf, but I still have like 10 on my shelf. So first off, we have the Classics series. This is, I think, what they started out doing. They're just called Le Grand Classiques. There are currently 9 of them. I do know, I saw on Lurica, there is a 10th one coming out, I believe, in May, which I'm so super duper excited for. But this is Tome 1, all right? I'm just going to show you guys some of the spoilers. This one has a really good mix of all of the classics, in my opinion. This book, I don't know what year it came out. Definitely, this is an older one. It does not have any of the newer movies in it. That's why flip-throughs are so important, because you just don't know what you're gonna get if you don't look at flip-throughs, in my opinion. I'll show you guys this. I wonder actually if this has a date on it, a year. It must. 2015. Okay, this book came out in 2015, so whatever movies were before or after 2015 like won't be represented in these books, so definitely none of the newer ones. But we have Tome 1, and then here I have Tome 2, which is also a great volume. This is one of the few volumes that have Winnie the Pooh. I don't know exactly, I'm just looking at the spreadsheet. Let's see, Winnie the Pooh. I'd say a fair amount of them have Winnie the Pooh, but you kind of have to look at the spreadsheet and see which ones do, because not all of them do. So we have some really nice pages in this book. Again, just such a fun time. I'm such a big fan of these books, you guys know. And if you guys are new, you guys will learn very fast. In January, it was most of what I colored. So this book also has cars, which the first book did not have any cars. So if you guys are into the Cars franchise, that's a fun one. I really love this rabbit page. I've said that for forever, that I really need to color it, and I just have not done it yet. But that is Tome 2. And then I feel like I'm trying not to do any editing really in this video, just because I know how long and stressful it's gonna be, and I'm not used to like putting books away and not editing it in between. So then I decided to pull out Tome 4 and show you guys, because this book's super interesting, because this book actually just has a ton of sequels, like direct-to-DVD sequels, which to me personally is not a big deal. Like we have The Incredibles 2, Leroy and Stitch, let's see, oh, Emperor's New Groove 2. I don't know what the exact title of that one is though. So yeah, this book has a lot of sequels, but you get, in my opinion, the same characters you know and love. So take with that what you will. This volume has a lot of sequels. But it also is a very bright and colorful volume. All of the bright colors. This one and Tome 3 are a lot of bright colors, which is my personal favorite. Some of the volumes as you might see in a minute, and by a minute, I mean a second, Tomb 7. This one has a lot of dark pages. I personally do not recommend this one being your first volume. I think, unless you've looked through the flip through and you're just absolutely in love, I think you're going to be disappointed if this is your first. What the heck? Like, what is up with that? They probably pulled scenes from really dark, like, night scenes. They probably pulled, yeah, the scenes from really dark scenes. But I don't know, some of these pages are nice and bright, but majority of these are really dark. I don't think this is a good first choice personally, but I pulled it out to show you guys that this one is kind of on the dark side. So while you might see that Lion King is in it on the spreadsheet and be like, oh, that's awesome, I want this volume, I don't know if you really do. Again, you might, I don't know. I personally, this was one of the last books I got. There was a reason why this was one of the last books I got. I'm a completionist, so I wanted it, but it is a very dark volume. Some of them aren't too bad, but if I were only personally to pick one volume to get, it wouldn't be this one. So we have Tomb 7, and then we have the Classics Tomb 9. Again, I'm not showing you guys every single classic volume just because there are 9 of them, but I'm showing you guys 5 of them, that's a lot. So we have Tomb 9, which actually is one of my all-time favorites. It is so colorful and bright. This book, however, does not have black outlining, and I will actually get into that in a little bit here, but it's just a super bright and colorful volume, and I absolutely love it. I really hope Tomb 10 is very similar to this. I'm not sure yet if it will be. I don't think we've seen any sort of sneak peeks. Only reason I knew it was even coming out was because of Larica. I was just doing some deep digging into the website and somehow ran across it. So I've done a fair amount in this volume actually. So just another quick page of spoilers for you guys. So yeah, that is the Classics series, and I also exited out of my notes. Okay, pull it back up. Next up, we have the Optical Illusions series, which is, it's a fun series. Basically, I'm gonna pick a page I have not done. Basically, you can see a character clearly outlined in a dark gray, and this is not the character you are coloring. There's actually another character hidden underneath. Interesting thing about volume 1 of the Optical Illusions is that the gray outlined image does not actually match up in any way, shape, or form. I guess not match up, relate in any way, shape, or form to the actual image here. So like Cinderella page, the grayed image is not going to be a Cinderella. It was just kind of a random choice. But when we get to Tomb 2, they will match. Not match. They will be more coordinated. That's a better word. Also, one of our very few Chicken Little pages. I think Chicken Little's very underrated personally. I know that's not a fan favorite, but I like it, so. I don't know why I like Chicken Little, okay? All right. I just think he's cute. The sky is falling, you know? It's just cute. It's just cute. So this book is very simple. Definitely one of the most simple books. I love it. I think it's great. I think it's just a fun time. So that is Optical Illusions Volume 1, and I gotta make room for myself because I'm running out of space and I want to put this book in a different spot. Okay, then we have Optical Illusions Volume 2. This book, excuse me, I'm talking too much. Like I said, you will, the grayed image will correlate more with this image, the colored image, so. Also, another weird thing about some books, I don't think it's a make or break in any book specifically. Some books name just the movie and the year of the movie. Some books name the character, the character it's pictured, movie, the year of the movie. Some just do the character name and the movie, or and the year. It's a very strange, I don't know how they decide, honestly, what to do, but yeah, this one has some very nice pages in it. It's a little bit more detailed than Volume 1, but it's still very simple in comparison to some other books, so another one definitely good for beginners. I do think maybe not picking Optical Illusions first, just because, if you're gonna pick one first, just because the gray outline could be confusing if you don't know what you're supposed to do, but I have faith. I have faith everyone will be great. So that's Tomb 2. And then we have volume 3, and the reason I pulled out all of these is because they're all kind of different. Volume 3 is very similar to Tomb 9 of the classics, so I wanted to show this one off as well. And I actually really like this volume. I don't color in it enough, which is dumb because I should, because it's really bright and colorful. Really love that Finding Nemo page. I should do that. This arguably is more confusing in the optical illusion aspect of it because there is no black outlining to outline the character. So this can get a little bit confusing, but the pages are so cute. So hard to resist. I really love this page. I've just noticed it. It's very nice. So yeah, that is Tomb 3. And then we have kind of an odd one. We have Portraits. This one is interesting. Sorry, just putting some more books up. This one's interesting because can you see either character? Not really. This one is kind of meant to be like the optical illusions, like that's the intent, but it doesn't, I don't think it executed very well. I can't tell either, to be honest. Like you could clearly tell in the other books that they were trying to be one character and they weren't. I can't tell in this. Some pages I can, some I can't. I'm having a hard time. In the camera, actually, I can see it. Oh, I can see it more. Oh, yeah, no, I could definitely see it more in the camera, but yeah. And sometimes I can see both images, which is kind of odd, but anyways. Here are the pages. These are very portrait style, obviously, as the name would suggest, they're portraits, so. Also got like one of our 2 planes pictures in this book. We have a Home on the Range page, also very underrated in regards to these books. Not the best movie, but underrated in these books. But maybe that correlates. I don't know. So it's just some really fun pages in here. Again, personally, I wouldn't pick it as one of my first. I don't think now. I will say though, this was one of my first books I bought, but I don't think I would do it now that with the information I know, but it didn't stop me from getting it. So I don't know. That is Portraits. And then we have the latest optical illusion book, which is Heroes vs. Villains. And this book, again, has a very similar style to Tomb 9, Optical Illusions Volume 3. In the fact that most of these pages are not black outlined, so. I'm just such a fan, though, of these colorful backgrounds. I love them. This book's a little bit more muted than the last couple volumes, but no, I like it. So that is the whole Optical Illusions series, and then there are 2 volumes that are dedicated to just Pixar books. These are very, very neat. You will not find any Disney pages in them. You will just find Pixar. So you have like a bunch of pages from just a select few movies because it's Pixar. And none of these pages are black outlined. So they all kind of look like this in this kind of style. I have really enjoyed these books. I love the fact that there are so many like Inside Out pages, Finding Nemo. Pixar movies tend to be more up my alley than Disney movies ever have been. I've always kind of been like that. I feel like I grew up more on Pixar than I did on Disney. So if you really like Pixar like I do, you might very much like these books. So that was volume 1. And then we have volume 2 here. Again, just very similar. It's just another volume. I very much hope they come out with more. I don't think the first volume had any Onward, but the second volume does. I actually just saw Onward for the first time last month, and it was a good movie. It made me cry. It was not my favorite, but it really was not bad. And it made me cry, like I said. So, like, and I mean cry, like I bawled my eyes out like a baby. So, perfect. Yeah, so I got some really nice pages in both of these volumes. Did I do this page? Am I making that up? Pretty sure I did that page. I did! Look how bright. So that is Pixar Volume 2. So that is all of the Pixar specific. And then we get into a couple different volumes that are Mickey specific. Mickey and the Gang. This first one is Mickey, Donald & Co. This one is a very simple book. This one is very simple. All of the pages have black outlining. There are not many colors per page on each page. And overall, this book is just such a blast to color in. I don't really see this one shown as much on YouTube or Instagram as the other books, I feel like. I don't know. I don't think Mickey's underrated. I just don't see it very often. So that is the first volume, which is Mickey, Donald & Co. And then we have the next volume, which is Mickey and Friends, which is kind of its more detailed companion. And just look at the detail in comparison to the other book. But I love it. I've only done one page in here, and that kind of makes me sad, and I really should do more. I love the piano page. And you will notice that in this book specifically, some of the scenes from the first book are taken and just made more detailed. So that's a thing, but again, that doesn't really bother me. So if you guys are into Mickey and the Gang and you guys are interested in more detailed pages, I suggest this book. And if you're not into the more detailed pages, I definitely suggest the first one I showed you guys, since it's obviously way less detailed. So that is Mickey and Friends, and that is the Mickey volumes that are out. And then we get into the one Looney Tunes book, which is obviously not Disney, it's Warner Brothers. But this is so fun, and I was really excited when this book came out. It's a newer one. It came out in October, and it's so fun. I just love the fact that, like, they did a Warner Brothers book. It makes me think, like, oh, maybe they'll do, like, Nintendo or, like, the Muppets or maybe, like, DreamWorks. That would be so fun. I don't know if they have the rights to any of those, but I actually think they have the rights to the Muppets, like Disney does. I think that's what Meg told me, so I would love to see that. That would be so fun. But we have a Looney Tunes book, which is super fun. And yeah, I'm just in love, and I hope they come out with more like this. But this book is on the detailed side for sure. For me personally, it doesn't bother me, but I do know that everyone has varying levels of like what they want to do and what they have time for, and you know, what their eyes can handle. So I love kind of all of the above. These books are just really, really fun to me regardless of kind of the difficulty of the pages, but I know that not everyone is like me. I know some people actually have standards with these books. I actually did this page. This was quite detailed. It was fun though. It was fun. But yeah, that is Looney Tunes. Alrighty, so the last kind of section in the types of books you can get in this style are the themed books. So there are a lot of them. I don't have them all here to cover. These are just a few. And by a few, I still kind of mean a lot. I just don't have all of them here, but here are a few of my personal favorites. We have villains. This book is full of the villains, and it's so freaking fun. However, this book is insanely detailed. Very detailed. But again, doesn't really bother me, but I haven't really attempted anything crazy like this. I've done probably the more simple end of these pages, if I'm being honest, but I am excited one of these days to do a more detailed page in this book. But this book, again, will just be filled with your villains. You're not going to find anything but villains in this book. For obvious reasons. So, very fun pages. You have all the villains in here, and then actually, I'm just going to pull out, of course it would be not where I'm finding it. This is what I get for not editing. Here we go. I'm going to pull out kind of its opposite, and that's princesses. This book, you will just find the Disney princesses. You won't find anything else. So you have a bunch of pages of each of the princesses. And again, this book is pretty detailed. However, this book is not as detailed as books that came after it. So for its time when it came out, it was quite detailed. I would say now this one's probably middle of the road detail. For the most part. Again, kind of depends what you're working on, but I love all the Moana pages in this book. Moana is one of my favorites. Little Mermaid's one of my favorites, so this book especially is just a really good time. So that's princesses. And then we have, again, one of the newer releases. This came out this past month in January. Definitely came out in January. Love stories. This book, actually, first of all, has 99 pages. All the other ones have 100. I don't know what happened. Maybe they pulled one from the book when they were proofing it. I don't know. I'm not too sure. But this one is very, very fun. I have done a page in it. The color palettes on this book is absolutely ridiculous in my opinion. I think the color palettes are very large and unnecessarily large. But it is what it is. If you like the images, it might be worth it. It's quite detailed. It's not even really detailed in the sense of being detail heavy in some cases. It's just a lot of colors in some cases. I will just show you guys quick. If you guys are watching this, you probably are new to these books. So most of the time, basically, the color palettes will consist of 1 through 0, A through Z, and then if they decide to go higher than that, they will start doing either like Greek alphabet, they will do random like symbols, like equal signs, pluses, hearts, diamonds, things like that. This is a great example. Also, I suck at this. Okay. This is a great example of why am I so like uncoordinated? So this book in specific is a really, really, really color heavy book. So take with that what you will on that one. Then we have Mystery Messages, and this one is super interesting because it's all in French. Obviously these books are initially from France, so it kind of makes sense. But basically it has a bunch of like kind of sayings from each movie. I haven't seen a bunch of people talk about this. In fact, I haven't really seen anybody talk about this book. But I really like it. It's actually a compilation book of 2 books. So that's always fun. Yeah, it's a compilation book of 2 different books that were smashed together into one. And it's really fun. I actually did a page in it this month, which is awesome because, yeah, this one's fun. It's Brave, and it says Brave. Easy enough, right? So, yeah, that one's a really fun one. Let's see. Hopefully my books just like don't topple over. I have them like halfway hanging off the table, so hopefully they're fine. Maybe I'll push them back in like a little bit. Okay, then we have Winter. This one is specific to winter, almost all snow scenes. I like it. It's just all snow scenes. So, mostly snow scenes. It's a lot of blue. I actually didn't grab Under the Ocean, but I would kind of consider that one the opposite of this one. And it is all underwater scenes. So, again, take with it what you will. But I mean, they're really fun though. They're really fun. This was fun to pull out this winter. I did it a lot last winter. Pulled it out for like a single page this winter, but I should have pulled it out more, and it's still winter. I live in Wisconsin. It's still winter. So I'll probably try to pull it out one more time before the season's over, but yeah, that one's winter. And then I have Animals, and this one is a book of all the Disney and Pixar animals, which is really fun because you don't have to find skin tones, which is also really fun because skin tones are kind of hard to match sometimes, but and you have some more Winnie the Pooh in this book, which is also fantastic. I've only done 1 page in this book, and I got it like quite a few months ago. I should really pull it out and do another, but God, I have so many of these books that it's like, yeah. I guess you do kind of have skin tone here with his hand, but that's okay. That's okay. So yeah, this one's all animals. The focus is not really on the people in this one, so that's a really fun one if you're into animals. So we have that. And then the last one I'm going to show you guys, again, there are a few more that I just left out. There's a babies one, a girl power one, cats and kittens, dogs and puppies, and Under the Ocean, I think. Oh, and magic, or fantasy creatures. I just, you know, didn't feel the need to show you guys every single thing. I have flip-throughs, like I said, for all of the books. So those are other ones that exist. But the last one I wanted to show you guys in the like themed section is Vitro, which is stained glass. This one has a different kind of finished result to the pictures. This one has more of a stained glass finish, which is so fun. I've personally really been enjoying this book. It's one of my favorites, and they're very simple in the most cases, and I enjoy it a ton. And this book contains a lot of the newer movies, so you get all the way up to Turning Red in this book, so that's very fun. I hope Tomb 10 has a lot of like newer movies like Turning Red. I swear to God there was a new Disney movie that came out that hasn't been in any of these books yet, so I'm hoping that one maybe will be in Tomb 10. I guess we'll see, but I know that new one's not in seasons, and I can't even think of the name right now, but I feel like you guys will tell me in the comments. I can't remember what it is, but yeah, that one is Stained Glass, and that is it for that section. And you know what? I think for now I'm gonna keep this here, so at least there's something on the screen. Alrighty, so my next section that I want to go through with you guys is what you can use to color in these books. And first and foremost, do not use alcohol markers in these books. They're double-sided books. Alcohol markers are basically like, so like for example, the Ohuhu brush markers. You don't want to use these, right? Those will bleed. These are double-sided books. The second alcohol marker touches any sort of part in the page, it's gonna bleed through to the other side. So do not use alcohol markers, but you can use colored pencils. That's a good option. I've personally never tried using colored pencils, but I have seen some beautiful finishes with colored pencils, so that's a great option. I personally use water-based markers. My number one are the Ohuhu water-based, not alcohol markers, the water-based dual-sided markers. So I'll grab, let's see. This is my most recent set of markers. This one has the white barrel, so they just look like this. They do very much look like the alcohol-based, but you gotta make sure they're the water-based. So this one has like a brush tip on one end and a chisel on the other. I don't actually use the chisel ever in any book really, but I do use the brush end, and it's a ton of fun going through it. So this is like one of the markers I use. I more frequently use the black handled water-based markers. Otherwise, I also use on an occasion Crayola Super Tips, so just look like this. If you guys have never seen Crayola Super Tips before, I've also done my own numbering system for them, but yeah, I use those a lot. And let's see, I also use the Crayola Colors of the World markers, especially for skin tones. So any of these markers are good. I also use the Staedtler markers. There's a bunch you can use. You just gotta make sure they're water-based. But just be warned, one of two things. If you spill water on your page and you have ink on the page, it's gonna bleed. That's how, I don't know, water-based markers are silly. That's how they work. And number two, if you go over the same spot too many times in water-based marker, it's gonna bleed as well. So, unfortunately, like, that's a thing. So, yeah. That is what I use to color in them. Some books include black outline pages and others don't. So let me show you guys an example of what I mean. This is a bad example. So let's actually use, I'll use Mickey and Donald & Co. So this one, yeah, this one has black outlining. So like, if you guys can see this page, you can tell that he is clearly outlined in black, and everything else kind of just like falls within that. You can kind of easily block things out and color it. So that's kind of a good example of that. And then a non-black outline page, let's see, I guess a good example, and of course I gotta move all my books for this, would be Trompe l'oeil, Heroes versus Villains. Actually, this is a good one because it has hybrid as well. So this book has some non-black outline pages, so like this page. This Peter Pan page. He's not black outlined. He's outlined in a, around the shirt, a darker blue, around his skin, a darker tan. So he is just outlined and not in black. And then we have some hybrid pages like this Oliver & Company page. You can tell that some of him is outlined in black, but not all of it. So I don't really have a favorite personally, but I do think that what's easier to start out with if you're just getting into these books are black outline pages. So that's my 2 cents on that. I use two different types of markers specifically for black outlining, and let me grab them really quickly. I use these two black markers. So first I have this just Crayola black marker. It's actually kind of a fat tip, but I find it works really well for skinnier black outlining, which is so strange to say, but it works really well. I don't know why. I think it works better than this. So this works really well for thick black outlining. This is the Heathrone water-based brush marker. And you guys can see, hopefully, yeah, that's a brush tip. So, well, I think I just hit the camera. But see, it kind of just depends what I'm feeling, but I definitely use these the most to black outline. So you guys will see this in my How I Color Disney video, but this is definitely what I use to outline. And then I guess that's it for that section. Again, let me know in the comments if you guys have any questions. I'm trying hard to cover everything, but I don't want to go on and on for too long because this video is already really long. So next section is not all movies and characters are represented in each book. Highly recommend watching flip-throughs to see what piques your interest. Like I said before, I have a bunch of flip-throughs. I have flipped through every single book, I believe, that I am showing here, as well as the ones that I have not shown on my channel, so definitely check those out if you are interested. Otherwise, using the spreadsheet as a guide in regards to seeing what, you know, movie has the most pages in the book, so if that makes sense. So in general, though, the most represented movies across all of the books, The Little Mermaid comes in at number 1 with 131 pages across all books. That being said, when I'm giving you guys these numbers, please keep in mind that this is across all of the books, and some books are themed where they would just have more pages. So like, it honestly makes sense to me that The Little Mermaid is number 1 because you have a shit ton of pages. I'm sorry about my language. A crap ton of pages in Under the Ocean for that book, ton of pages in Princesses for that book, and in general, The Little Mermaid is just such a classic that they include it in nearly every book. And it's not a newer one by any stretch. So, Little Mermaid has 131 pages across all of the books. Beauty and the Beast comes in at 83, Aladdin has 89, The Lion King has 80, and Mulan has 82. And then the top Pixar movie that's been represented across all the books are 70 pages for Toy Story. So if you guys are looking for Pixar, Toy Story has the most. So there's that. But then on kind of the opposite approach, the least represented movies across all the books, so basically 10 or less. We have The Reluctant Dragon. There's only one Reluctant Dragon page. I've never seen that movie. I don't know what that is. If anyone's ever seen it, let me know. Only one page of that. There are 8 pages of The Adventures of Mr. Ichabod and Mr. Toad. Another one I haven't seen, but I'll watch it eventually. 2 Home on the Range pages. 3 Chicken Little pages. 1 The Wild page. 8 Meet the Robinsons. 9 Tinkerbell franchise movie pages, like the spin-off Tinkerbell stuff, and most of those lie in Tomb 3. That's where you're going to find the majority. Planes has 2 pages, Soul has 5, and Turning Red has 2. Kind of makes sense for those two because they're newer, but especially Turning Red, I hope they come out with more. Again, this is just information that's relevant from today. This information will change when the next book comes out on the 17th of this month, so there's that. Okay, wow, I've been talking for a while, but I don't have too much else to say except for a fun little list of interesting facts to end off this video. So, like I said, there are only 2 Home on the Range pictures and animals and portraits, and I think that's really strange, truthfully. I understand Home on the Range is not the best movie, but I'm surprised there's only 2 of them, honestly. I don't know, and also, I didn't write this down, I don't know why, Tarzan is not in any of these books. I don't know what's up with that. Tarzan is the only Walt Disney animation movie that is not in these books. So there's that. 1 Page of the Wild, like I said, that one's in Tomb 3. If you guys, I've never seen The Wild. I had not even heard of it until I was making the spreadsheet. I'm like, what's this? So if you guys have seen that movie, let me know. It's in my little generator, so I will spin it eventually, but for now, I've never seen it. Paperman is the only short, like the shorts that go before the films. It's the only short that's in these books, and it's in tomes 3 and 4. There's 1 page of each. Again, very strange. I don't know. There are no Pixar movies in the Grand Classics Tomb 6 or 8. So if you guys want Pixar, don't pick one of those. Again, if you have access to the spreadsheet, you'll kind of know. You'll know that there are none. It's very clear. Peter and the Wolf, there is 1 picture in Cats and Kittens of that specific movie. Again, another movie I've never heard of, but I'm pretty sure that's not a Mickey, like, spin-off movie. I don't know what that movie is. I've never heard of it, but there's 1 picture, just 1 singular picture in that. Oh, and then in Portraits, where is Portraits? It is over here. Let me grab the book. This one is just funny, and I noticed it, and I don't know if anyone else has noticed this, but at the beginning of Portraits, at the beginning of the solutions, I think they were intending this book to be Trompe l'Oeil Tome 3, because if you guys see, this says Solutions Trompe l'Oeil Tome 3, but it's Portraits, and they came out with a Tome 3 later. So I think this might have been intended to be released as Tome 3, and it wasn't, obviously, so I thought that was kind of funny. But okay, those are like my interesting facts. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. To end off this video, I also want to talk about just the easiest books and the hardest books. I'm not going to show you guys the books again, but if you guys are looking for in my opinion, the easiest books you could probably get in this whole series, Mickey, Donald & Co. and Optical Illusions Volume 1. They both have very limited color palettes. They are both black outlined. Majority for Optical Illusions Volume 1. There might be a couple that aren't, but it's very simple color-wise. It's very simple art style-wise. I find those very beginner-friendly. What I don't recommend for beginners, and the hardest books in my opinion, are love stories, like I said earlier, with the crazy color palette in that book. You might not want to start out with that one if you're new, and Villains is also very detailed. But I'd say like everything else kind of falls in between, but again, that's just my opinion on that. In general, some books are just going to require a ton of colors, some aren't. Again, looking through flip-throughs will be your best friend. I wish I could flip all of these books in one video, but I've already flipped them, and I wish I maybe had done it all in one, but I recommend fishing. And I'm not the only person that has filmed flip-throughs. A lot of my friends have as well, so I highly recommend checking out them if you don't want to find them from me. So there is that. Let's see. There are also some books that are in the same style but not Disney. I don't own many. I only own 1, but I do plan on getting more, just not quite yet. But the one I do have is this Coloriage Mystère Fantastique. That was terrible. Scrapped the whole video. But no, this one is very like mystical and fabulous, and I love it. So I'll give you guys just a quick couple page flip. I've done a whole flip on this one as well, but this one is very detailed but very beautiful, very like fantasy art style and just crazy creatures, and I love it. And this is by the author, the illustrator that has done a lot of the other books. So there are also some other ones. There's mandalas, there's nature, there's a witches one that I really want to get. So if you're into this style and not into Disney, or if you're into this style and not into Disney, I recommend something like this. But I feel like you probably wouldn't have watched this video all the way through if you weren't into Disney. But I don't know, teach their own. But yeah, I think that's it. I wrote spreadsheet at the very end as well, but I went through the spreadsheet already. So I think that's it for this really long video. I think this ended up being like 40 minutes, 45 minutes. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys are into these books as well and have any advice for anybody else, leave it in the comments because I'd love to hear it. Let's talk about these books. I am going to do 2 more parts in this series. I'm going to show you guys here in a little bit all of my finished pages in these books, and then the next part will be a How I Color Disney video. So I'm really excited. Thank you guys so much for listening to me just talking your ear off today. If you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button down below, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye guys!